You are standing at the edge of possibility, and the choice in front of you is simple: rise or remain. Every second that ticks by is a chance to move forward, to leave behind the weight of hesitation, the limits of the past, and the fear of the unknown. Time doesn't pause for anyone. It doesn't wait until you feel ready. It moves, and those who move with it create momentum, and those who wait are left behind in silence, watching others live the life they once dreamed of. Right now, in this very moment, something deep inside is whispering that there's more to discover, more to become, more to fight for. That voice is real. It's the fire that refuses to be extinguished no matter how many times you've felt defeated, no matter how many times you've been ignored, overlooked, or broken down. It's the part of you that knows you're capable of more, even when the world doubts it. Rising above doesn't mean you won't struggle. It means you decide that struggle is part of the path, not a reason to quit. It means standing up when everything inside you wants to sit down. It means pushing forward when your body is tired and your mind is flooded with doubt. You're not here to be average. You weren't built to live in fear. You were made to rise, to stretch beyond the limitations you've believed for far too long. There's no guarantee of a perfect journey, but there's a guarantee that if you don't take this moment seriously, it will pass you by. And nothing is heavier than the weight of regret, the feeling of knowing you could have done more, tried harder, started sooner, or simply believed. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of wondering what could have been is endless. That's why this moment matters. This decision, this breath. There will always be people who don't believe in you. There will always be days that feel too hard. But none of that changes the truths. You still have power right now to take the next step. You still have control over how you respond, how you think, how you show up. That control is your freedom. That control is your strength. Rise above the noise. Rise above the pressure. Rise above the doubt. You don't need everything to be perfect. You just need to begin. Begin again if you have to. Begin scared. Begin uncertain. Begin with tears in your eyes and a heart that won't quit. But begin, because what waits on the other side of that first step is more than just achievement. It's transformation. This is not about waiting for a sign. This is the sign, the signal that now is your time, not next month, not when things are easier, not when you have it all figured out. Now, because the longer you wait, the further you drift from the life that's calling you to rise. And that life, your best life, won't wait forever. Every person who's ever done something meaningful has felt fear, but they moved anyway. They rose above their circumstances, their pain, their excuses. And in doing so, they discovered what was possible. That same power lives in you. It always has. So rise. Rise with purpose. Rise with fire. Rise even when your legs shake. Rise even when the world is heavy, because every time you rise, you grow stronger. And with every rise, you move closer to the life you were meant to live. Your time is not someday. It's not when it's convenient. Your time is now. Now is the only moment you truly have. It's a simple truth, yet one that's often forgotten in the fast, moving current of daily life. The mind drifts backward into memories, regrets, and past mistakes, or it races forward into the future, filled with hopes, fears, and what-ifs. But neither the past nor the future exists in any real way. The past is already gone, untouchable and unchangeable. The future hasn't arrived yet. It's only a mental projection, a possibility shaped by what you do now. All you ever truly own is the present moment, this breath, this second, this choice. People often delay their dreams, waiting for the right time, thinking life will one day slow down and make space for them to finally begin. They say, I'll start next week. I'll take action when I feel more ready. I'll chase that goal when everything lines up. But life rarely gives you a clear signal. It doesn't offer certainty. What it does offer, every single day, is the present moment, a blank canvas on which you can paint your future, one stroke at a time. The difference between those who build the life they dream of and those who simply dream is the courage to act now, even when the timing isn't perfect. The present is powerful because it's where action happens. Ideas are born in the mind, but they become real only when acted upon in the present. You can think about changing your life, but nothing changes until you make a decision and follow through with it right now. That's the difference between wishing and working, between intention and impact. Many people know what they want, but they put it off until tomorrow. The problem is, tomorrow is never promised. Delaying action often becomes a habit, and before you know it, a year passes. Then 5, then 10. Time slips through your fingers while you wait for the right moment that never arrives. Living in the present is not just about urgency. It's about presence. It's about fully experiencing life as it happens. So many people live on autopilot, going through the motions, never truly awake to the moment they're in. They're physically present, but mentally elsewhere, distracted by worries or chasing illusions. But the moment you return to the now, fully aware, fully alive, is the moment you regain power. That's when clarity appears. That's when decisions become real. That's when momentum is created. Every great achievement begins with a single present decision. The choice to wake up early and train. The choice to speak your truth. The choice to start writing that book, launch that business, or fix a broken relationship. These moments of choice only happen in the now. The future doesn't exist yet to hold your actions. The past is already closed. If you want to change your life, you don't do it yesterday or tomorrow. You do it now. You begin with one step, one action, no matter how small. This moment is also where healing begins. You might carry pain from the past, mistakes, losses, or heartbreaks that feel like they define you. But the only place to heal that pain is in the now. It's in the now that you choose to forgive, to let go, to release what no longer serves you. It's in the now that you decide to grow instead of stay stuck. The present moment offers you a gift every second, a chance to reset, to rise, to be more intentional with how you live and who you become. The power of now lies in its honesty. It doesn't lie to you. It shows you where you are and asks you, what will you do with this? It doesn't care about your excuses or limitations. It simply waits for your action or inaction. And from that, your future is shaped. The person who recognizes the value of now doesn't wait to be motivated, they move. They don't wait for the perfect feeling, they act anyway. They understand that waiting is a trap, that growth begins where comfort ends, that the moment you decide to move, you're already further ahead than most. You don't need permission to begin. You don't need all the answers. You don't need to be fearless or flawless. You just need to start. Right now, because the clock is ticking and every second you hesitate is a second you'll never get back. Life is short, unpredictable, and precious. You don't want to reach the end full of regrets for the things you didn't do, the chances you didn't take, the potential you never lived. Right now, you can choose to rise above your fears, your procrastination, your limitations. Right now, you can choose to rewrite your story. Right now, you can begin becoming the person you were always meant to be. But that choice is yours and only yours. No one can make it for you. No one can live your life. And no one else is responsible for your transformation. Now is the only moment you truly have. Everything else is either memory or imagination. If you waste the now, you waste your life. If you embrace it, you unlock your greatest power. The power to create, to change, to rise. And that power is in your hands. Not tomorrow, not later, not someday. Now, rising above is a decision, not a condition. It's not something that just happens when life becomes easier or when circumstances align perfectly. It's not about waiting for the storm to pass or for the pain to disappear. Rising above means making a conscious choice to stand tall even when everything around you tells you to fall. It's about choosing strength, choosing growth, choosing action, regardless of how you feel or where you are. It's not about external situations being ideal. It's about the inner decision to rise anyway. Too often, people believe that they must wait for the right conditions to make a move, to change their lives, or to become the version of themselves they admire. They say things like, when I'm more confident, I'll try, or when I have more support, I'll begin, or When the time feels right, I'll take the first step. But that mindset keeps people stuck because conditions are never truly perfect. There will always be fear, always be doubt, always be unknowns. Rising above those things is not about eliminating them. It's about moving forward in spite of them. The truth is, rising begins in the mind. It starts with the decision to no longer be defined by the situation, the pain, the fear, or the past. It's that deep internal resolve that says, I will not let this hold me down. I will not surrender to what I cannot control. I will rise because I choose to. That choice is the most powerful thing a person can ever make. It's the turning point, because once that decision is made, everything else follows. It doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter how far you've fallen or how many times you've failed. What matters is the decision to rise now, the decision to rewrite the story, the decision to stop waiting and start doing. Rising isn't reserved for the lucky or the privileged. It's for anyone who decides that they will no longer settle for a life built on fear or regret. It's for anyone who is willing to take ownership of their path, even when it's hard. The most successful, resilient, and inspiring people in the world didn't get there because life gave them perfect conditions. Many of them started from places of pain, poverty, trauma, or failure. What separated them from the rest wasn't their circumstances. It was their decision. They decided they were not going to stay down. They decided to fight for their future. They decided that their current condition would not be their permanent story. You don't need to feel strong to decide to rise. You don't need all the answers. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be willing. You need to say yes to the process, even when it's messy, even when it's slow, even when no one else understands. Rising is rarely loud or glamorous. Often it's quiet. It's that moment when you get up after being knocked down, when you show up even though your heart is heavy, when you try again even after failing. That's what rising really looks like. It's not about proving anything to anyone else. It's about proving something to yourself. That you won't quit on you. That you're worth the effort, the pain, the struggle. Because through the struggle you grow. Through the discomfort, you build strength. Through the decision to rise, you discover what you're truly made of. Conditions may influence your journey, but they do not define your destiny. That's what the decision to rise reminds you of. That your power is not found in what's happening around you, but in what you choose to do in response. Life may be unfair, but that doesn't mean you stay down. Life may hurt, but that doesn't mean you stop trying. Rising is the refusal to be a victim of your situation. It's the daily act of courage to move forward, even when it's hard. You will face resistance, internally and externally. Your own mind may tell you that you can't. People around you may not believe in you. But that's where the decision becomes even more important. Because when no one else sees your vision, you still have to carry it. When no one else understands your pain, you still have to heal. When no one else shows up, you still have to rise. That decision is yours alone. And that's a beautiful thing, because it means you're not dependent on anything outside yourself. You hold the key. You have the power. You always have. Every time you choose to rise, whether it's from failure, heartbreak, disappointment, or fear, you become stronger. Not just physically or mentally, but spiritually. You start to trust yourself. You build grit. You realize that you can overcome more than you ever imagined. And with each rise, the world begins to change, not because it's easier, but because you are braver. Rising above is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle, a mindset, a habit. It's something you choose again and again, especially when it's hard. And every time you choose it, you shape your future. You send a message to the universe and to yourself that you are not a prisoner of your past, not a product of your pain, not a victim of your fears. You are a fighter, a builder, a creator, and most of all, you are someone who decides to rise, no matter the conditions. Struggles are part of the path, not signs to stop. It's a truth that many overlook, especially when pain hits hard or challenges feel overwhelming. Too often, struggle is seen as a barrier, a signal that maybe this isn't the right path, or that maybe you're not good enough. But the reality is that struggle is not a stop sign. It's a sign that you're in motion, that you're growing, and that you're moving towards something meaningful. Anything worth achieving, anything with value, is going to require you to fight for it, to push through discomfort, and to face the resistance that naturally comes with growth. Growth and struggle are inseparable. You don't build strength in ease, you build it when you're tested. You don't develop courage by staying safe, you develop it when you face what scares you and keep going. Every person who's ever accomplished something great, meaningful, or lasting has faced struggles along the way. The difference isn't that they had fewer problems, it's that they refused to stop. They understood that the pain was part of the process, not a punishment. They knew that obstacles weren't there to block them, but to shape them, sharpen them, and prepare them for more. When you feel like giving up, when the path feels too steep, that's not a sign that you should stop. It's a sign that you're moving closer to the edge of transformation. Struggle often means you're doing something new, something important, something that stretches you beyond your comfort zone. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it's tiring. But it also means you're alive, you're trying, and you're refusing to settle. There will be days when everything feels heavy, when nothing seems to work, when progress feels invisible. But that's where your character is built, not in the wins, but in the waiting, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. When you struggle and choose not to quit, you prove something to yourself. You prove that you're capable of more than you thought. You prove that you're not defined by your emotions, your failures, or the opinions of others. You're defined by your will to keep going. The path to your goals will not be straight. It will twist, turn, and sometimes feel like it's going backward. You'll question yourself. You'll feel alone. You'll wonder if it's even worth it. But those moments are where your breakthrough begins. The struggle is the test, and persistence is the answer. If you can hold on, if you can keep moving, even when you feel like you have nothing left, you'll find that you're far stronger than you ever believed. Every setback teaches you something. Every failure reveals a lesson. Every delay builds your patience and your faith. Struggle has a way of showing you what really matters. It strips away distractions, ego, and comfort, and it forces you to focus on your purpose. It teaches resilience, it builds grit, and it forges discipline. Those things cannot be bought, borrowed, or faked. They are earned through pain, through effort, and through never giving up. Struggle is also a reminder that you care, that what you're doing matters to you. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't feel frustrated when it gets hard. You wouldn't feel the urge to cry, to scream, or to question everything. The presence of struggle proves the presence of passion. And passion is what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Some of the most beautiful parts of life are born from struggle. A butterfly doesn't become what it is without the fight to escape the cocoon. Muscles don't grow without the stress of resistance. Seeds don't become trees without pushing through the dirt. And you won't become who you're meant to be without struggle. That's not a weakness. It's a reality. The pain you're going through now may feel like it's breaking you, but it's actually building you, molding you, preparing you for more. Quitting is easy. Anyone can give up when it gets tough. But staying in the game, showing up, and continuing to fight when everything in you wants to stop, that's what sets champions apart. That's what separates those who only dream from those who achieve. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's the decision to endure the struggle and not let it define the end. You have to trust that the struggle is not the final chapter. It's just part of the story. And often, it's the most important part. It's where the transformation happens. It's where the shift takes place. It's where the old version of you is challenged and the stronger version begins to emerge. So don't curse the struggle. Don't run from it. Lean into it. Accept it as a necessary part of the process. Let it teach you. Let it fuel you. Let it refine your focus and strengthen your resolve. You are not alone in your struggle. Everyone faces their own battle, their own journey, their own mountain. But the ones who make it to the top are the ones who refuse to turn back just because the climb is hard. You have that power within you. It's already there, waiting to be activated by your decision to keep moving. Struggles are not signs that you're weak or failing. They are signs that you are on the right path, that you're chasing something meaningful, that you're in the middle of a transformation. So when struggle shows up, and it will, don't see it as a stop sign. See it as a signal that you're growing, a signal that you're rising, a signal that the breakthrough is closer than you think. Keep going, keep believing, keep rising. The struggle is not the end, it's the way forward. Struggles are part of the path, not signs to stop. It's one of the hardest truths to accept, yet one of the most powerful. When you face obstacles, it's easy to assume something's gone wrong, that you've taken the wrong turn, or that you're not cut out for the journey. But struggle is not a red light. It's a green light that says, keep going. It's not a signal that you're failing. It's evidence that you're moving. The presence of struggle doesn't mean the dream is impossible. It means the dream is worth fighting for. The path to any goal is never smooth. It's filled with hills to climb, valleys to crawl through, and storms that will shake your confidence. This is where most people give up, not because they can't go on, but because they believed the lie that struggle means they're not enough. The truth is, struggle is the process through which strength is built. It's the pressure that shapes your character, the resistance that strengthens your resolve. Without it, there is no real growth. Without it, the reward has no depth. The most meaningful victories are those that are earned through difficulty, not handed over in comfort. Every time you struggle, you're being invited to become stronger. Every obstacle is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to evolve. Life doesn't hand out strength and resilience for free. It demands that you earn them, and struggle is the price. No one becomes powerful without first being challenged. No one becomes wise without first being tested. The path to greatness always runs through pain, through failure, through moments where quitting feels easier than continuing. But the ones who rise are those who understand that discomfort is not the enemy. It's the evidence that you're changing. So many people stop when it gets hard. They take it as a sign that the dream was never meant to be. But the difficulty isn't there to stop you. It's there to test how badly you want it. If success came easily, it would mean nothing. It's the fact that you had to bleed, sweat, and cry for it that makes it valuable. And the harder the struggle, the greater the satisfaction when you rise above it. That's why struggle should never be feared. It should be respected. It should be embraced as part of the path that turns ordinary people into extraordinary forces. Struggles strip away illusions. They reveal what you're really made of. They show you how much heart you have, how deep your commitment goes, and how serious you are about your goals. Talk is cheap when things are easy, but when everything falls apart, when the odds are against you, and you still choose to move forward, that's when you prove your strength. That's when you become someone who can handle more, build more, and become more. Struggles may bend you, but they don't have the power to break you unless you let them. There will be times when you feel like you're doing everything right, and yet nothing is working. That's part of the path. There will be times when progress is invisible, and you feel stuck. That's part of the path. There will be times when others doubt you, when you doubt yourself, when the dream feels too far away. That's part of the path too. But none of that means you're failing. It means you're in the process. You're being refined. You're becoming who you need to be to handle what's waiting for you on the other side of persistence. Your mindset in those moments is everything. If you view struggle as a reason to stop, then every challenge will become a wall. But if you see struggle as a sign that you're leveling up, then every challenge becomes a doorway. It's your perception that shapes your response, and your response determines your outcome. You can choose to see struggle as the end, or you can choose to see it as the beginning of your next breakthrough. The truth is, everyone struggles. No one is immune. The difference lies in who keeps going. The people you admire, the ones who built amazing lives, powerful careers, deep inner peace, they didn't get there by avoiding struggle. They got there because they went through it. They made a decision that no matter how many times they fell, they would get back up. They saw every struggle as part of their training, as fuel for their fire. Even nature teaches this lesson. A seed struggles in the soil before it breaks through and becomes a tree. A caterpillar struggles in the cocoon before it emerges as a butterfly. That tension, that resistance, that pain, it's all part of the transformation. Without the struggle, the transformation doesn't happen. The same applies to you. The struggle is making you. It's preparing you. It's revealing your potential. When you look back one day, it won't be the easy moments you remember most. It'll be the battles you fought and won. The days you didn't feel like getting up, but did anyway. The times you wanted to quit, but pushed through. The moments you cried, screamed, doubted, and still moved forward. Those will be the moments that define you. Not because they were easy, but because you endured them, you rose through them. So don't be discouraged when the path is hard. Don't turn back when it gets heavy. Struggle is not a stop sign. It's a signal that you're alive, that you're growing, and that you're still in the game. Lean into it. Trust it. Let it shape you. Because the struggle isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of something greater. Keep walking. Keep fighting. Keep believing. The struggle is not your enemy. It's the path to everything you've been dreaming of. Small steps lead to big change. It's a concept that sounds simple, but in a world obsessed with overnight success and instant results, it's often overlooked or underestimated. People want big transformations, dramatic shifts, and fast outcomes, but the truth is meaningful and lasting change is built gradually. One small action, one consistent effort, one step at a time. Every journey, no matter how massive or impressive it may seem, starts with a single step. And it's the collection of those steps over time that creates the transformation most people admire from the outside. Change doesn't usually come in sudden waves of inspiration or in grand, sweeping gestures. It comes quietly, patiently, in the daily decisions that seem insignificant in the moment. It's waking up early one morning to make time for your goals. It's choosing to say no to distractions. It's reading one more page, doing one more push-up, practicing one more time. On their own, these moments feel small, but they are never wasted. They are investments in the future, bricks in the foundation of something stronger, deeper, and more powerful than before. The beauty of small steps is that they are always within reach. You don't need to have everything figured out to take one. You don't need to be perfect, fearless, or confident. You just need to be willing. Willing to start, willing to keep going, willing to believe that progress is still progress, even if it's slow. Small steps are how big dreams are built, not in a single leap, but in a steady march forward through days of effort and commitment. The world often celebrates the end result, the successful business, the fit body, the accomplished artist, the person who rose from nothing. But what the world rarely sees is the work done in private, the discipline it took when no one was watching, the early mornings and late nights filled with quiet struggle and unwavering focus. Behind every achievement is a trail of small steps, repeated over and over again through failure, through frustration, and through self-doubt. That's what makes the change real. That's what gives it depth. Because anything that comes instantly can disappear just as fast. But what is built over time, through consistency and effort, tends to last. People often get overwhelmed by how far they have to go. They see the gap between where they are and where they want to be, and they freeze. The mountain looks too high, the road too long, the dream too far away. But that's only because they're looking at the finish line instead of the next step. You don't have to climb the mountain in one day. You just have to take the next step, and then the next, and then the next. That's how mountains are conquered, not in one giant leap, but in 1,000 tiny, persistent efforts. One of the most powerful things about small steps is that they build momentum. Even the smallest action, done consistently, begins to create a shift. You start to believe in yourself. You start to see progress. And that progress fuels more action. It becomes a cycle, not of instant success, but a steady growth. It's how confidence is built, not by waiting to feel ready, but by acting your way into readiness. Every time you follow through, every time you show up, you're proving to yourself that change is possible, that you are capable, that you are becoming. Small steps also allow for sustainability. Big, drastic changes can sometimes lead to burnout because they are hard to maintain. But small, manageable habits can be woven into your life and gradually expanded. They become part of who you are, not just something you do. And over time, they create a shift in identity. You're no longer someone trying to change. You become someone who lives differently, who thinks, acts, and chooses with intention. And that is the essence of true transformation. There's power in showing up every day, even when the results aren't visible yet. There's power in believing that what you're doing matters, even when it feels small, because it does matter. Every word you write, every healthy choice you make, every moment you spend learning or practicing or pushing yourself forward, it all adds up. Change doesn't happen in a single explosion. It happens in a series of sparks that eventually ignite something greater than you imagined. The key is patience, trusting that the process is working, even when it feels slow, understanding that big things are built with time, and that rushing the process can sometimes destroy the very thing you're trying to build. Let each small step teach you. Let it shape you. Let it prepare you for what's coming. Because when the change finally shows up, it won't be because of one massive moment. It will be because of all the little moments that came before. The moments when you chose to keep going, when you chose to rise, when you chose to believe. Small steps may not always feel exciting. They may not look impressive to others. But they are the secret to every powerful transformation. They are the heartbeat of progress. So take them boldly, take them consistently, and never underestimate the power of a single step taken in the direction of your dreams. Because those steps, repeated with intention, will lead you exactly where you were meant to go. The time to rise is now, not someday. Someday is a silent trap that keeps people stuck. It's a comforting word that disguises delay. It feels safe because it gives you the illusion of control, of having all the time in the world to act, to grow, to become. But the truth is, someday doesn't exist. It's not on the calendar. It never arrives. And every time you say someday, you're giving away your power to a moment that will never come unless you create it. Life doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait. Time doesn't pause until you're ready. The world keeps moving forward. And those who rise are the ones who decide to move with it. Waiting for the perfect time, the right energy, the ideal conditions only leads to regret. There's no magic moment where everything will line up perfectly and make the journey easy. You rise now, not because everything is perfect, but because you've realized that waiting any longer will only cost you more than you're willing to lose. Change begins the moment you decide it's time. That decision is everything. It's the internal shift where you stop looking outside for permission and start looking inside for purpose. No one can tell you when to start. No one can hand you the confidence you think you need. That strength is built through action, and that action must begin now, not tomorrow, not next year, now. Because the longer you delay, the more distant your dreams become. Delay feeds fear. Delay strengthens doubt. And the more you wait, the louder those doubts grow until someday turns into never. You don't rise by accident. You rise by intention. You rise by taking ownership of your life, by understanding that if you don't act now, life will act on your behalf. And life doesn't always wait for your convenience. You've already waited long enough. You've already doubted yourself, postponed your potential, and played it safe. But safety is not growth. Comfort is not purpose. And certainty is not power. Power is choosing to move even when you're unsure. It's showing up even when your knees shake. It's deciding that you've had enough of standing still. Now is not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about recognizing that everything you want begins with a single moment of action, a single choice to step forward. And the beautiful part is that you don't have to know every step to take the first one. You don't have to see the entire path to start walking. You just have to start. Because momentum doesn't come from standing still. It comes from movement. And movement begins with now. Rising now means owning your flaws, your fears, your failures, and moving anyway. It means you stop blaming circumstances, stop making excuses, and stop waiting for signs. You are the sign. Your desire to change, your hunger to grow, your frustration with your current state. That's the sign you've been looking for. You don't need anyone to tell you it's time. If something inside you is stirring, if something inside you knows there's more to your life, that's all the confirmation you need. There will never be a perfect time. Life will always be busy. There will always be challenges, responsibilities, distractions. Rising now is not about waiting until life gets easier. It's about deciding that no matter what life throws at you, you won't stay on the ground, that you'll rise in the chaos. Rise in the doubt, rise in the fear, because rising isn't about the world around you. It's about the world within you. People lose years waiting. They watch their dreams fade. They watch others succeed and wonder why they didn't. And it's never because they weren't capable. It's because they didn't start. They didn't rise when the moment was there. And the painful truth is that missed moments don't always come back. Some doors close forever. Some opportunities are time sensitive. That's why now matters. That's why this moment is sacred. Because what you do now decides what comes next. Rising now is an act of self-respect. It's declaring that your goals are worth it, that your life has value, that your dreams matter. It's a refusal to stay quiet, to stay small, to stay hidden. It's choosing action over anxiety, discipline over doubt, and purpose over procrastination. You've been given this life for a reason. You're here for something greater than fear. You are capable of more than you've allowed yourself to believe. But you'll never find out what's truly possible until you rise. So rise now. Rise even if your voice shakes. Rise even if your plan isn't perfect. Rise even if you're the only one who believes in you. Because rising now is the beginning of everything. It's how stories change. It's how legacies are built. It's how people step into the lives they were meant to live. The only thing between you and that life is a decision. And that decision can only be made now. Don't waste another day hoping for the right time. Don't let fear write another page of your story. Choose this moment. Embrace it. Own it. Because the future isn't waiting, and you don't get this moment back. The time to rise is not someday. The time to rise is now.